and thank you for being here. And before we start, let me say this clearly. I read your comments, all of them, the supportive one, the angry one, the long ones, and yes, even the ones reading at 3 in the morning. Because comments are noise, they are a mirror.
Former army barracks on the edge of town.
What are you concerned about?
It doesn't matter where they were from. It's just the fact that suddenly the 600 males.
I came to UK to war, not to show, not to protest, not to demand to war, to pay taxes, to follow rules, to will a better future for my family. That is where I am speaking from today. Now, this story comes from a small town in the southeast of England, a quiet place, a place where people know each other, a place where nothing dramatic usually happens, until suddenly plans appear to host hundreds of asylum seekers in a former army barracks on the edge of town, and people march not with party balloons, not with smiles, but with concern. One resident says something very simple. It doesn't matter where they are from, it's the fact that suddenly 5 of 600 young men will be in the town with nothing to do. And when I heard that, I stopped because that sentence is not hate, that sentence is fear. And fear deserves to be understood, not shouted down.
Young males will be in the town and wandering around with nothing to do.
I can't believe Keir Starmer actually ignored.
Let's be honest for a second, 500 bored young men with no work, no routine structure. That is not a community project. That is a Netflix documentary waiting to happen. People feel ignored by the government. They feel these decisions are taken far away by people who will never live next door to the consequence. And this is where immigration stops being status and starts being emotional. Because immigration is not just number, it's safety, it's truth, it's identity, it's culture, it's everyday life. Over the summer, protests grew stronger after serial crimes were reported, and when crimes happen, something breaks. Not just laws, trust breaks. And when trust breaks, fear grows. Now, let me say this very clearly as an immigrant, crime has no nationality, but people exist everywhere, and most immigrants are not criminals. Most immigrants are invisible, cleaning hospitals, driving delivery vans, working night shift, building houses, and raising kids. But pretending there is no problem is also dishonest. If you bring large number of people into small communities without war, support, or clear rule extension, is guaranteed. That is not racism, that is basic social logic.
Crowborough and not making any comment about what is happening. We've made a stand. We've told them, Crowborough is not happy.
Two-thirds of adults in the UK say there aren't too many people coming. Nearly half says immigration has had a negative impact. You can disagree with that feeling, but you cannot ignore it. Ignoring people does not make them calmer, it made them louder. Some of you wrote to me, one comment say, I can hear legally, why don't they? Another say, we're not heartless, we are tired. And someone else wrote, if the government does listen, people will explode. I read those comments every word. And here is my honest view as an immigrant who works here. The solution is not open doors and is not closed hearts. The solution is contact with humanity.
Momentum here is building.
Well, people have been protesting in this town for weeks now, and what is happening here is reflective of the wider mood in this country.
And you need to go.
Over the
Um, Fast decisions, clear answers, yes or no, quickly. If someone is allowed to stay less than war immediately, war give dignity, routine give peace, purpose reduce conflict. If someone commits serious crime, deportation should be fast, no excuse, no delays, because protecting society is not cruel, it's necessary. And let me be brutally honest, if I didn't work, if I have nothing to do, if I feel unwanted, I will be angry too. The UK, because of rules, KOS system structure is not perfect, but it works. And when system start working, people lose passion. So let me ask you something. Would you feel safe in your town change it overnight?
summer, angry protests flared outside hotels housing asylum seekers, triggered by the sexual assault of a 14-year-old girl and a woman by an Ethiopian man who had arrived on a small boat just days earlier. And in response, the centre left.
Will you feel listening to if nobody asks your opinion? Will you feel calm in the government say nothing? Think about that. This debate is not about left or right, it's about realism. Helping people does not mean ignoring consequence, and protecting borders does not mean losing compassion, but can exist. To immigrants watching this like me, we have responsibilities to respect the country, respect the laws, learn the language, work, contribute. Because respect goes both ways. I love this country because I gave me opportunity, but opportunity survives only if system survive. So instead of screaming at each other, let's talk honestly. Instead of pretending there is no problem, let's face it properly. And now I ask you, what do you think is the real solution? Faster decision, work permission, strict controls, better distribution? Write in the comments. I write in the comments. I read them all.
Labour government rolled out the biggest tightening of immigration rules in 50 years.
Every area of the immigration system, work, family, and study, will be tightened up so we have more control.
Those reaching the port of Dover after crossing the English Channel in small boats could wait up to 30 years to gain residency.
This government policy to fortify Britain's borders is shaped.
Let's go a bit deeper now because this conversation deserves depth, not slogans. When people protest, many commenters rose to label them racist, ignorant, backward. But here is the uncomfortable truth. Most people protesting are not thinking about ideology, they are thinking about their street, their kids, um, that matters. One of the biggest mistakes governments make is assuming silence means agreement. It doesn't. Silence often means people feel powerless, and then one day they are not silent anymore.
By public opinion. According to a recent poll, two-thirds of UK adults think that there are too many people coming to this country. Nearly half believe that immigration has had a negative impact.
Now I want to talk about something nobody likes to talk about numbers. 500 people arriving at once is not the same as 5 people arriving slowly over time. Human systems are fragile. School, GPS, housing, and transport. You stress them too fast, they snap. And when systems snap, communities blame each other instead of the planners. That is how division grows. Here is another thing people don't say out loud. The problem is not immigration alone, the problem is unmanaged immigration.
Out on the UK overall, and 73% of those polled say that they are concerned about the rise in small boats crossing the English Channel.
But despite that perception, net migration is down by two-thirds.
Because control system create truths and control system create fear and fear spreads faster than facts. Let me speak personally again. When I arrived in the UK, I was nervous. I didn't want trouble, I wanted stability. And rules actually helped me relax because when rules are clear, you know where you are stand. Imagine arriving somewhere and being told nothing, no timeless, no expectation, no duration. That is not kindness, that is chaos. Now let's talk about the small boots issue because this is where emotion completely takes over. People crossing dangerous waters are desperate, that's true.
Driven by previous curbs on overseas workers and students. Though outside this visa centre in Islamabad, many remain hopeful of a future.
But the system that allows handles waiting after arrival is broken. Waiting years without knowing your future destroys mental health, and mental health issues frustrated spill into society. So again, fast decisions are not cruel, they are humane. Another thing many of you comment of hotels, temporary solution becoming permanent ones. Um, Hotels mean for tourists turning into long-term accommodation. Let's be honest, nobody wins there. Local business suffer, resident feel invade, migrant feel trapped. Is a lose-lose scenario, and yet it continues. Why? Because delay is easier that decision.
In the UK.
I guess I guess the behaviour of people and the facilities available there are far better than those in Pakistan, and that's why so many people are attracted to that country. It's a reality that some students travel to the UK, abandon their studies, and
It's a lose-lose scenario, and yet it continues. Why? Because delay is easier than decision. Now some people say we should just shut the borders completely. That sounds simple, but it isn't realistic. Another say we should accept everyone. That sounds compassionate, but it is not really. Real solution live in the uncomfortable middle. Here is my proposal as someone who actually lived this. First, rapid processing months, not years. Second, immediately war access for approved cases. Third, strict enforcement against crime.
seek asylum.
In Britain, those fears are driving a fraud debate over immigration, a debate that's reshaping the country's relationship with a wide.
Four, fair distribution across regions. Um, and fit honest communication with the public. No spin, no silence, no pretending. Because people don't need perfection, they need honesty. Another thing I want to address media. Media often inflames fear or dismisses is completely but are harmful. Fear sells, outrage clicks, calm solution don't trend, and yet calm solutions are exactly what we need. I also want to speak to immigrants watching this. And if you come here, respect mothers, learn the culture, understand the humor, follow the rules. Integration is not losing who you are, it's learning how to live together because no country wants anyone's house and no society survives without shared rules.
The world. Milena Veselinovic, Al Jazeera, Southeast England.
Lauren Starkey is an independent social worker.
Don't miss out and get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable.
Let me ask you another question. If borders didn't matter, what country sees us all? Borders are no walls of hate, they are lines of responsibility, and managing them properly is not evil, it's necessary. Now I want to quote one of your comments directly. Someone wrote, I don't hate immigrants, I hate being ignored. That sentence says everything. People don't want quality, they want control. And control does not mean love or compassion, it means responsibility. The UK have a long history of immigration, legal, orderly structure. That tradition should not be destroyed by mismanagement because when systems fail, strength rise, and nobody wants that. So what happened next? Um, that depends of leadership. Leadership means and saying comfortable truths. Leadership means taking responsibility. Leadership means explaining decisions clearly. And leadership means listening. Let me end this extended part with a reflection. As your this, what kind of country do we want in 10 years? Um, on one built on fear, one built on order or and fairness, and ask yourself another thing. What would you accept in your own town? Be honest, write in the comments, agree or disagree. I read them all. Share this video, like it, subscribe, and yes, activate the bell because the conversation is not over. Thank you again, and let's keep talking.